All right, y'all. We are here. Time to get to the truth, bro. Time to get to the truth. And boy, I stayed away with this one because at first it made me very, very hot. And one of the key things I'm talking about, priority key things that make up a man, is being able to control your emotions. On here, I try my damnness to never approach any opinion on a topic emotionally. All right, I don't, and that's why it took me a little second to get to this. But we finna get to the truth of this. Like, this is why I named this podcast, and not only me and my co-hosts, we named this podcast "Ready to Be Accountable" podcast for a reason. We came together on that name for a reason because we are, and I'm gonna steal this for Anton Daniels. We are a equal opportunity smoke giver platform. On God, that's just how we living. All right, that's just how we are living. And my experience is very different from Anton's because my experience that got me to this way of thinking came from real life conscious wrong decisions that put me in the justice system for a certain amount of time, and I kept bumping my head until I got it. I'm lucky, all right? I'm lucky. But without that, we here to talk about Corey Holcomb's sick ass, all right? Now, I have the definition of comedy up because I want to break this down so we have a very remedial, basic understanding of where I am going in this video and where I end up in this video. Now, definition of comedy is a professional entertainment consisting of jokes and satirical sketches intended to make an audience laugh. A movie, play, or broadcast program intended to make an audience laugh. The style or genre represented by comedy films, plays, and broadcasts and programs, the humorous or amusing aspects of something, all right? This is the general definition of comedy, okay? Now, does comedy come from the truth? All right? And I only ask this because me as a fan of comedy know that the greatest comics, the comics that we put in the Comedy Hall of Fame, their comedy pulls from the truth. All right. And AI gives me a answer saying yes, comedy heavily relies on the truth, but often in the form of comedic truth, where reality is exaggerated, distorted, recontextualized to highlight absurdity, pain, or social hypocrisy. While not every joke is 100% factual, uh, must be 100% factual account, the best comedy is often rooted in honest observations, personal vulnerability, or a shared understanding of reality. All right. We have some aspects of this, which is truth as a tool, comedic truth versus literal truth, observational honesty, connection and vulnerability, and the role of incongruity and subverting expectations. All right. Again, I'm getting somewhere with this. Now we have what what comedy is, where the greatest comedy comes from, or what generally and as a whole we agree this is where the greatest comedy comes from. All right. Which brings us to this nigga. All right. Which brings us to this nigga. Gee, Corey Holcomb has been a disappointment over the last 3.5 to 5 weeks. All right. And I'm a fan. Remember that. I'm a fan. First of all, when he got cooked by Anton, I was on Anton's side from the first point made all the way up until he exited. Okay. Let's just start there. All right. You tried to home, it didn't work. He stood on his 10 as a man. And because of that, you were disheveled. You were on unfamiliar grounds, even in your home, and it made you look crazy. All right, that was that. Cool. Now we are here. Now we're here because, as you say, TMZ and the powers that be are after you. Now, when it comes to the TMZ and the punching allegations, I am neutral on that. All right, there's a lot of flaws. There's a lot of evidence that suggests the alleged party is very slimy, so to speak. Very not a good person. So that one is up in the air. I'm not even focusing on that. I'm focusing on this of pattern of your what you choose to make comedy from. The reoccurring pattern, all right? This here, boy.
I knew my daughter was gonna be a freak when this bitch was 3 months old.
Now, let me tell you, I love dark comedy. I'm a fan of horror comedy, edgy comedy. I love it. All right, I love it. For this to have me this disheveled should tell you something.
Oh, y'all don't know me? You'll see. No, listen, this little heifer, she never kept the bottle in her mouth. She always pulled the bottle out and shake the milk all over her face and shit.
Shit. Now again, this was 13 years ago. All right, this was 13 years ago. Where I thought I yeah. So this was put out 13 years ago. Okay. And 13 years ago, we were at a different time. And what we can say, how we can do things, what was considered socially acceptable, we was in a new time. I'm an 80s baby. So I grew up during this time. This is this was normal. Nobody got canceled for saying this. All right. And as you can see, it's funny. All right.
I told her, I said, girl, you just like your mama, goddamn.
All right. So Shaq goddamn dildo head. Well, look. So again, that kind of comedy was accepted back then. He didn't get canceled or none of that. Now, with that being said, it wasn't as egregious as what we finna listen to, but it still paints the picture and puts it on like the base. This is the basis for him always having a sexually charged joke when it involves minors or little kids. Like it could be different if he was like making fun of him like having a speech impediment or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's way different than every single joke that has a kid present is sexually charged. All right. And do I think, and this is gonna start, I'm gonna say this the rest of the video. Do I think that Corey Holcomb actually has had sex with someone that is underage? No. Now, there's no evidence, no one coming out speaking about that I could even consider that thought. Do I think that these type of thoughts, sexually charged thoughts with kids in them, Epstein-esque thoughts, R. Kelly-esque thoughts, live and this nigga got their square hair rent free? Absolutely. Absolutely.
When I was in Iceland, you don't have to be no 18. I think it was 13, maybe 14.
Yeah.
That's a grunt. The vagina been on this planet 14 years.
For the fact that you do have a base and a core fan base of people that you have cultivated over the years, they will be able to listen and really receive what you're saying. All right. Now, I could, I'm going to rephrase what you're saying, but when you couple that with you already starting the Shaq comedy tour off with a sexually charged child joke, it adds more onto the basis of where you prefer your quote unquote dark comedy, but I'm going to say it's sick, traumatic comedy that it comes from. It always has to be aligned along that.
I've said this before on the show also. Do you know if a woman 16 years old gives you a baby, that is going to be 16, 17, 18, 19. That is going to be one of the healthiest babies possible.
I will never have one of the healthiest babies possible. Let me just start there. All right. And let me also issue an apology out to my kids that I didn't give y'all the opportunity of existing as one of the most healthiest babies possible. All right. I am so sorry that I'm not wired like that so that you personally could experience being one of the most gifted baby, whatever this nigga got there, healthiest babies. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I'm not wired like that, but I can't, I couldn't, and I will never try to have one of the most healthiest babies possible by this nigga definition.
At that age, they've been on the planet long enough. They're in their prime developmental wise.
They only been on the planet long enough to learn the importance of front to back, nigga. Stop it. Stop. I don't know what the hell you got going on, nigga. That's the only thing they've been on this planet long enough to know how to do. They just got a studying routine down. Majority. All right? Majority of them at that age are in the boys. Majority of them at that age are going through what girls go through at that age. Why do we have to have a conversation, especially us as men? Because if we want to be honest, the only men that should be entertaining girls at that age are men and boys that age. And boys that age, I have a boy. Yes, his hormones are going crazy, but as a father, we instill focus and the concentration and the energy put into making the best choices possible, especially when it comes to college or trade school, or if your kid is gifted in football, basketball, making sure that they lock in, making sure that they get extra practice in, that they have a very good, solid village around them to get them where they have to go. So if we like that, I don't understand why he is talking about this like he can play it off like I was talking to the guys that age, nigga. You still leading them wrong, fuck nigga. I'm not even, and yes, trust me. As much as I'm saying this, and as much as I try to exercise this with my son, I still make sure he got condoms. I still make sure he got condoms because nigga, he's still a boy. He's still 15. He still is a child, and children are going to try to get away with what they can get away with. So that's what I mean by over here, you're going to learn that I know how to compartmentalize shit, and I know I am learning. I am learning daily on the best way to move forward in my life. And I don't have a problem being transparent about it.
to create a life.
Just saying, in America, most people only know what they know in America, but I've been to other countries, and in Iceland, I think the legal age to get with a girl is 13 years old.
Oh, my God.
Right, it blows people's mind.
Again, he's not talking about the legal age for them to actually enter a spelling bee contest and such, and or like the legal age for them to actually be having the option of traveling nationally for excelling in sciences. This nigga is still talking about consensual age to fuck these little girls, nigga. I'm tired of goddamn holding back to fuck these little girls, nigga. You are still, since the first joke, nigga, your ass has been talking about fucking little girls. Alright? Since this joke, fucking little girls. Now, we up here and goddamn this joke. And it already is starting off by what? What chat? Fucking little girls.
Wow. Right, it blows people's mind when they hear it. But in Iceland, R. Kelly is not a criminal.
He's trying to get extradited.
He's a normal guy in Iceland. I went to Iceland, and you just can't offer him money and gifts. And I thought that was so unfair that you couldn't give him nothing after you was done with him.
Again, sexually charged jokes with now a specific age of 13-year-old girls in Iceland. Are we starting to see a pattern here, chat? Are we starting to see a pattern here, bruh?
This still crazy. I'm not going to Iceland. So I assume you've been to Iceland and you took advantage of the laws. Is that what you're saying?
I had a great time in Iceland.
Nah, I know. There is gonna be a section of people who's like, well, he was really, it was sick, but he really just leaned into the joke because he's a comedian. Sorry. That is not my recollection of this, okay? Now, do I think that Corey Holcomb has actually fucked a young girl? There is not enough evidence for me to have that thought. No. Do I think this type of sick ass, Epstein-esque ass, R. Kelly-esque ass, nasty, perverted thoughts lives in this box head rent-free? Yep.
This past weekend, I saw this little girl. She had a Welch's grape juice bottle in her mouth. And she was about 5. She had the whole bottle, as far as it'll go, just sucking on it, walking with her mama. Somebody said, get that out her mouth. When they took it out her mouth, that baby said,
Is the funniest thing about that is the way that your face is contorted to make an example of this.
You know when she stopped crying? When a man picked her up and put her in her lap and started bouncing with it. Then she stopped crying and was looking like this. I say, that's a...
Sexually charged jokes with children. In this joke, the age has even went down to 5 years old. That, like, you see how it is going down number-wise? First, he was talking about 16, 17, 18 prime years. Then he went on to 13. Now he's on to 5. People can say all day and all day long that, bruh, he's a comedian. This is his thing. I know it's sick, but this is his thing. Who? Why is it his thing? Why? If the greatest comedians, as we learned in the beginning, pull from truth, Rather that be what were the categories of that? Rather that be rather that is using the truth as a tool, whether he using comedic truth versus literal truth, observational honesty, connection and vulnerability, the role of incongruity, or subverting expectations. This nigga need help. And if he has exercised any of this in real life, this nigga needs a firing squad. He need 2 horses, 2 limbs tied up to each horse. Both horses are facing the opposite direction, and we have 2 people hit the horses on the ass. Let them go. Yes, if he has exercised any of these quote unquote dark jokes from a comic, his ass needs to be talking and playing baccarat with the devil. All right? The hell?
That's a little growing right there. And everybody will say, Corey, what are you talking about? Corey, you crazy. Get the
Has there ever been a thought that why would everybody have to say, Corey, what are you talking about? Corey, you crazy. That thought doesn't cross your mind because of quote unquote how the comic brain thinks. But a 5-year-old girl who does what babies do somehow makes his way of entering your brain and entering that nasty ass throat of yours, nigga. I'm glad TMZ is fucking you up, nigga. I'm glad. And I really hope you go down because this type of shit needs therapy. They need to, because why is it always sexually charged children's jokes? Why? You can make fun of anything else. Why is it always sexually charged?
this little girl was in her bliss with her mouth wide open. She was just, it had the cap on it.
Made the
And
noise.
everything. Saturday. Hey, what's up?
And another thing I don't get, which is why it needs help. And again, if he's exercised any of this in real life, the nigga need to be killed. Another thing is, why is it always a little girl? You know what you just described and put in the form of a joke, sir? All babies do. Boys and girls. Boys and girls, you both have to teach them how not to be so greedy. Like, oh, the bottle ain't going nowhere. Slow down, so they don't choke. Boys and girls. If they're not done eating or drinking, if you take a bottle from them until they learn different, crying is a natural reaction. And the comforting of a guardian that they have grown to trust, rocking them, is a normal way of getting the baby to calm down. So why specifically did you have to make this specific baby a girl for a male guardian to calm her down, and you correlate that for what a grown adult with a fully developed brain making conscious choices are doing, nigga?
Make sure, hey, look, I don't know her name. Isabella. What is her name? Dita 605? Dita 605? Listen, I want to wish your daughter a happy birthday. Her sweet 16. It's a beautiful age. And you make sure you and your daughter have counseling so that if she's broke, cat daddies like me ain't in that. by the time she's 21 through 30.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You are the one that needs counseling. You should have been had counseling. And the fact that you have made it to this point, have been doing this show for 16 years, and nobody has even mentioned this to you, is the reason why the black community still has the creepy uncle in the family. And, oh, no, just leave them alone. Just don't leave the kids with them by themselves. No, just don't leave the man. Look, just don't have this nigga breathing another breath of air. How about that? Talking about don't leave the kids with him and all of it. Bruh, niggas get on my fucking nerves, and y'all, bruh, what y'all are gonna learn about me is I ain't with that nigga shit. I ain't with that, the black man always gotta turn out the black man. I ain't with none of that shit, bro. We on America Cut It. It's 2026. And I ain't going in the depths of why I have that opinion and outlook towards everything. Because, nigga, a lot of y'all don't even get it when I do. And if y'all want to, I have plenty of episodes in the past. We got over 900 videos up here that you could choose from to get my reasoning on why I view and operate the way that I do. This is sick, bro. This is sick, dog. Corey Holcomb exhibits the behavior of the creepy uncle that everybody tells you not to leave the kids around unattended. Do I believe Corey Holcomb has fucked an underage girl? There is no evidence for me to believe that, no. Do I believe these sick ass, pedophilic ass, Epstein-esque ass, R. Kelly-esque ass, nasty thoughts live in his head rent-free? Yes.
Because if you don't bring them up right, I'm going to be with them on their birthday.
This doesn't need any type of explanation. This shit is sick. Corey, your ass need help. Again, I don't believe that you have actually fucked the underage person. However, these thoughts live in your head rent free, and that's scary because after a while, your thoughts need and tend to manifest. And with all of this is why people are saying something. It's not because TMZ is loading up a war chest against you, nigga. No. People have taken your own words from your shows in the past, made a pattern connection, and any therapist will tell you that is a fucking danger sign. Warning labels, red flags that you should not ignore. I'm getting hot all over again. And again, I'm not addressing this emotionally. Y'all leave y'all comments in the chat. Tell me if I'm tripping, if I have been warped by society, or is this nigga nasty? I'm out. Till next time. Rock it.